Hello, YouTube. I hope you're doing well on this Friday. I'm still on my PTO and I took a whole week off. I was in Aruba. We just arrived back last night and it was a good vacation. It was good. I'm glad I picked a 2 star, and a 2 star was, not as big, but it was decent. We had two big pools, free breakfast. The breakfast was good. The food was really good. Every place we went to, the drinks was horrible though. Like, I don't know if it was just the places I went, but the only decent drink I had, strawberry daiquiri, was on the street, and everything else was like at a restaurant. The margaritas were just not good. I'm used to like good margaritas on vacation, but they just didn't do it for me. But you know, came back last night. It was some drunk guy in front of the building. My neighbor got rid of him, and this morning it's somebody that says dirty money all the time, night, and it's crazy. It's like, thank God I don't be here every day. I go to work, my son go to school, but living in certain neighborhoods is annoying, and for me vacation is a need, because I feel like anybody who just stays in the hood 24/7, 365, you're gonna go crazy. Like, thank God, you know when we're not away, I've always taken my son out, even if it's just to the library, Grand Army Plaza. It's always good to get out the neighborhood, and I will always stress that on the channel. Like, if especially if you're from New York City, if you live in Brooklyn, the Bronx, you already know what it is. It's just good to get out, because New York City is ghetto, child, and it's getting worse and worse with the population of these drug addicts, and it's getting worse and worse. But really quickly, I wanted to talk about people in general that give you advice. And I think I spoke about this on a previous video, but I just wanted to talk about, there's a woman named Kittie that talks about from conversation, they call it, with Stefan Speaks. And I told you about all them people, right? Now, when I went in November, the first week in November, this was like November 8th, I went. I think it's called Our Conversation, whatever. These people do not let people finish their sentences. There were so many people who walked out. Like, when I got there, people were walking out. I was like an hour. I feel like I was like 2 hours late, because I was hanging out with my friend and it was his birthday. So I was at least an hour late, at least. And when I got there, people were leaving. And then about minutes later, more people were leaving. And it's just, these people are just talking. A lot of them are just chatting. There's a particular woman named Kitty. I don't like the way she talks to people, because she always mentions God. And I believe in God too. I'm a very strong Christian. But she says some things like to people like it's been a few ladies that were side chicks, and she would go as far as to tell them like, oh, you're not a Christian, and da 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 da, if you're doing this behavior. And I'm like, well, who are you? Like, everybody sin, everybody make mistakes. For you to go as far as to be like, oh, there's no way you could be a Christian if you're doing this. Let me tell you something. Fornication, adultery is still bad. So if you sleeping with somebody they not your husband, that's, in God's eyes, according to the scriptures, it's just as bad as adultery. Like, it's the y'all all going to the same hell. Like, if we want to really be honest, God doesn't like none of it. If you thinking about sex, that's a sin too. If you masturbating, that's a sin too. You thinking about it, it's all sin. No one better than the other. In societal standards, yes. Oh well, but in God's nostrils, or in God's eyes, it's all the same sin. So he who is without sin cast the first stone. And she just be going in on people, and it's, to me, very annoying. Like, people look up to that, and I'm like, nah. I was looking at that like, it gotta be something about her. Sure enough, one of the videos I seen, guess what she said? She cheated on her husband, because somebody came up and asked the question of, do you believe once a cheater, always a cheater? She goes, oh, y'all are so biased and y'all don't think people could change. And it's like, but you're the same one that was condemning people who were side chicks. You're the same one who, not just the side chicks, but women that were in situationships. And she's like, oh, like she goes in for no reason. Like she'll make you, if you don't have high self-esteem, she'll make you feel like you going to hell. Like that's how she talks, like fire and brimstone. And that's not good to talk to people. People asking you for advice, they're not asking for you to judge them. And she's very judgmental. She's the most judgmental person I've seen on social media. Her name is Kitty. She dark skinned. She wears braids oftentimes. I think she's married. I think it might be her second marriage, whatever. But you gotta watch out for people like that, because she came out and said she cheated on her husband, right, years ago, and she's a new creature. But for the people who came up and said that they cheated on their husbands, she was going in. When I say she was going in on them, she was going in. And I recently made a comment last week. I was like, yo, it's something about Kitty that don't sit well with me. Everybody's clapping for her, whatever. I'm like, something is really up with her. Sure enough, she's projecting. So that's what I wanted to convey in this message. Like, be careful who you ask advice for. Be careful who you listen to on social. I even say it with my own self. I sit here and give advice, but question it. If it don't sit well with you, it's okay. God will never judge you. God don't sit there. When he was on this earth before he died, we just celebrated the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ, right? We just celebrated Resurrection Sunday /Easter. So just remember that. Just remember that in your mind. Like, this is someone that I'm asking advice to, but I feel like they're judging me. I feel like, no, it's nothing wrong. Now, if someone is letting you know that you're wrong, I'm not talking about that. That's just like, like if a woman comes up and she says, well, I have kids with this man, and because he wants to be with another woman, I'm not going to let him see his kids. Then that's your opportunity as a friend, therapist, or whatever you are to the person that's asking you for advice. Be like, no, you're wrong for that. What y'all got going on has nothing to do with the children. Then that's the time to like kind of low-key lecture. And even that, you're supposed to say it with love. And she don't do that. She judges people. She's biased. And then when she admitted that she cheated on her husband, she's like, oh, y'all are so biased and y'all are so this. But you are biased when the people come up to the podium, they can't even finish their sentence. And so many people, when I tell you, so many people walked out of that thing, not just because it was long, it was like 4 hours long, but people were walking out because people are asking for advice and y'all are not even listening. And that's very annoying, So comment, like, and subscribe. If y'all know the people I'm talking about, Stephen Speaks, he's good. Like, he actually listens to people, is critically thinking before answering a question. He don't just jump on a bandwagon like the rest of them. Just like the lady was like, she was an older woman, and the man didn't want her coming over because he has a 25-year-old son. He might just have it in his head that, okay, they've been together for 3 years, but maybe he don't feel the same way about her, and maybe he feel like, well, what's the point of inviting you to introduce you to my child? Because even though he's a grown man, that's still his child. Why would I invite you around my child if this may or may not even last? We might be broken up next week. And like I said, my original goal was only let men around my son if I was engaged or married. And I broke my own standard. I broke my own rule. But it's true. Like, people have reasons why they don't want you at your, I have a cousin who, she don't let nobody at her house, family included. She's some people are like that. They just don't want you in their home. And that's their right. They pay rent there, they live there, that's their home. They have a right who they want in their house and who don't they want in their house. They don't have to give you an explanation. To be honest, who are you? You're just the girlfriend. You're just somebody he's messing with or whatever. People have a right. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. For those of y'all who know Kitty, watch out for what, you listen to and stuff. Because this lady just said that she cheated on her husband, right? But when you listen to her responses, she be going in. And nobody notices that but me. Like, she really do be going in on people. And you're not supposed to say that, like, oh, you're not a Christian, if there's no way you could. And she really said that to somebody. Somebody was cheating on their husband, and then they was messing with somebody else's husband. Like, they get all different types of scenarios. And each and every person, she comes down on them like, oh, there's no way you're a Christian and you doing that. But yet you came out and admitted that you cheated on your husband. So I guess you're not a Christian either. So yeah, just be careful who y'all get advice from. And those are my thoughts.